We have arrived at the popular Autodromo José Carlos Pache in Interlagos, Sao Paulo for the running of the Brazilian Grand Prix, the final race of the season, where the Drivers' Championship will be decided this week. Coming into this week, apart from the title battle being a talking point, the final 4 seats for 2021 have been announced this week. So without any hold-ups, let's get on with it. The first team news of the day concerns HAAS, as after a bit of speculation, it has been announced that 2019 DTM champion Daniel FRASER will remain with the team for another season. Daniel has had a rocky 2020 season, with the last part of the season being much better for him. He currently lies 20th in the Drivers' Championship, 4 points behind future teammate Amelia Wilson, and his team HAAS lie last in the Constructors, 4 points behind the soon-to-be departing Manor. Daniel's highest point this season came at Suzuka, where after so much bad luck, he finally took his and the team's first points of the season with 9th place after a brilliant showing in the wet conditions. Daniel will be relieved to know that he will still be with HAAS for next season, and he'll be hoping to put the disappointment of this season behind him and hope the team have a much improved car for 2021. As mentioned earlier, he'll partner alongside Amelia Wilson, who will join the team as a result of Manor pulling out to replace Dudu Kirby, who will be retiring from the OC after his home race this week. It will be interesting to see whether HAAS will improve in 2021 or endure another tough season. The second team news today concerns the rebranded Aston Martin team, as after a lot of speculation, it has been announced that 2016 DTM champion and 2020 DTM runner-up Julius Andersson will make his welcome return to the top class in 2021 with the British car maker. Julius has had a resurgence of form in 2020 after a difficult 2019. He finished runner-up in the DTM Championship, only just missing out on the title to Romain QUAG and only achieving 1 win, which came at the first race of the season, which was at the current layout of Hockenheim. Throughout the last few seasons, Julius had been doing everything he can to get back into the top class, only for him to miss out on a number of occasions. So much so that in the run-up to this episode, he was convinced he wouldn't get the drive, but he has been proven wrong, and he'll be over the moon to know that he'll be back in the top class. He will hope that the team will have a big leap forward in 2021 to hopefully have a good chance of fighting for the title, and he hopes that he can be in the top class for a lot longer than the previous 2 stints. He will partner alongside Roland Motrin, which will see the pair of them reunite as teammates for the first time since 2017 when they were teammates at Williams. He will also, as a result of this news, replace George Roque, who will be leaving the team after this week to return to Red Bull. Both Roland and Julius will be hoping Aston Martin will be competitive in the first season of the fantasy era. The penultimate team news of the day concerns Renault, as after many weeks of gossip and speculation, it has been announced that the driver who will partner alongside Evan Byrne next season will be 2019 BTCC champion and the team's current test driver, Jesus PERINAN. Jesus has had a very good season in GP2, despite having bad luck towards the end of the season. He finished the championship in 4th place, 1 point behind Ruslan Protsiuk, and his team Univirtuosi Racing won the team's championship by 9 points ahead of Trident. Jesus' highest point this season came at Baku, where he took his first and only GP2 win after managing to jump eventual champion Aaron Curtis in the pits. Jesus will be happy to know that he will make his top class debut next season, and he'll be looking to have an amazing rookie season with Renault. As mentioned, he will partner alongside Evan Byrne, who will remain with the team for the 5th successive season. He will replace Jake Galloway, who will be leaving the team after Brazil to join Ferrari. It will be interesting to see whether Renault will make a huge leap forward in 2021 to the point where they are back at the front fighting for the World Championship. The final team news of this year's silly season concerns Alfa Romeo, as after a lot of back and forth with so much stacked competition, it has been announced that 2020 DTM champion Romain QUAG will make his long-awaited return to the top class with the team in 2021. Romain has had an amazing 2020, with him having the season of his life. He won the DTM Championship 2 weeks ago after winning the final race of the season at Monza and also winning it from the back foot as a result of him not leading the Drivers' Championship going into the final race. Romain won 3 races throughout the course of the season, and his brilliant driving monster, as mentioned, gave him his first ever OC title, having come close to win the GP2 title back in 2009, only to lose it at the last race to Switzerland's Hackensaal. Romain will be relieved to know that he will finally be back in the top class in 2021, and he will be hoping Alfa Romeo will make a big leap forward in 2021. He will partner alongside Andre Verderi, who will remain with the team for the 3rd successive season. This does unfortunately mean for Aaron Curtis, who despite winning the GP2 title last week, has missed out on the drive for both Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo due to the competition being very competitive for both of them. However, there is no doubt that Aaron will be determined as ever to have a very good 2021 season and hope to be on the top class grid for 2022. In the meantime, as a result of this news, we now have a complete grid for 2021. So just to recap, here are the teams and drivers for the first season of the Fantasy Era in current Constructors' Championship order. Mercedes will retain their lineup of 2019 World Champion Franco Lopez and Brit Armarcar, with both of them having a chance to win the title this week in Brazil. Red Bull will retain 2011 GP2 champion Franco Gamba, and he'll be joined by 5-time race winner George Rope, who will return to the Milton Keynes-based team for the first time since 2006, and also reunite with Franco for the first time since 2018 when they were teammates at HAAS. The rebranded Aston Martin will retain Roland Motrin, and he'll be joined by 2016 DTM champion and a returning Julius Andersson, with the pair reuniting for the first time since 2017 when they were at Williams. Renault will retain Evan Byrne, and he'll be joined by 2019 BTCC champion Jesus PERINAN. McLaren will retain their lineup of soon-to-be Italian Kirishima De Rosa and two-time world champion Joseph Willows. Ferrari will have a new lineup, which will be an all-British lineup consisting of current AlphaTauri driver Chris Chatfield and Chinese Grand Prix winner Jake Galloway. AlphaTauri will retain David Kupok, and he'll be joined by 2009 world champion Miklos Gal, who will return to the team for the first time since 2008 when they were known as Toro Rosso. Alfa Romeo will retain Andre Verderi, and he'll be joined by 2020 DTM champion and a returning Roman QUAG. Williams will retain their lineup of German veteran Felix Sontag and Welshman Jamie Griffiths. HAAS will retain 2019 DTM champion Daniel Fraser, and he will be joined by 2019 Formula E champion Amelia Wilson. And finally, the brand new Lamborghini team will have 4-time race winner Laura Chung, and she will be joined by 2020 GP2 runner-up Rahul Patel. As a result of this news, we now know that along with Roberto Gamba and Dudu Kirby, who will both be retiring from the OC as a whole after this race, these two other drivers will also not be on the top class grid in 2021. These are Manna's Rosetta Martinez and Alfa Romeo's Gabriel Gomez. These two drivers may end up as test drivers in 2021, but whether they will or not remains to be seen. Speaking of test drivers, 5 of the 11 teams competing in 2021 have already confirmed their test drivers for 2021, and they are on your screen right now. Mercedes will once again have 2010 GP2 champion Rivki Fakrezane for the third successive season. Renault will have current McLaren test driver Hento Sinonome. Ferrari will have former Williams test driver Dennis Graff. Williams will have 2020 GP2 championship contender Adam Chobot, and the brand new Lamborghini team will have Hungarian Daribush Daniel. The other 6 teams, which are Red Bull, Aston Martin, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo and HAAS, are still yet to announce their test drivers for 2021. Some drivers will be offered test seats later tonight, so if you have missed out on a drive or you applied to be a test driver, keep an eye out on your DMs on either Discord or Twitter, or even the notification bell on YouTube, as you could be offered with a test role for 2021. The remaining 6 test drivers will be announced on Friday on the GP4OC Twitter account. In other news, the lineups for the renamed Formula 2 season have also been announced this week, and on top of that, the liveries for the 2021 season have also been revealed, with some of the liveries being revealed today having no sponsors due to drivers at this current time not requesting any custom sponsors, with the other liveries already having custom sponsors on there due to drivers already requesting them. Anyway, without further ado, here is F2 commentator Robert Ionescu to go for the teams and drivers for the renamed series.
The 2020 season has reached an end, and with that is the end of the GP4OC GP2 Championship. We have reached the end of an era as we welcome F2. 2021 will bring us many new things, Joe. We've got a new team first of all, we also got the new OCF2 car, but most importantly, we've got new drivers on board. Who are those new drivers? Well, before we tell you who got in, real quick, let's talk about who's out. The obvious, of course, is Rahul Patel, the runner-up in the championship, and his teammate Jesus PERINAN, who have both been announced in the top class. They will not be returning to GP2, now that it's being rebranded to F2. Another surprise, though, is, perhaps I'd call the breakout stars of last season, Kyle Burns and Joel Watterson, who have had brilliant seasons, have unfortunately not gotten a seat in F2, not because they were bad or anything, but because they did not sign up. Wojtek Kulisic did not get a seat either, neither did Max Skillin. Mohamed Usman Hamid, Nicholas Zorbach, Alex Broster, Santino Andrioli, and Lorenzo Tomaselli have all also been dropped. So with that out of the way, let's talk about who's still in it, of course, and who's joined. First up is Trident, the team that won the Drivers' Championship with Aaron Curtis. Aaron Curtis, after narrowly missing out on Aston Martin's seat, will be returning to Formula 2 to defend his title. He has never won a race in any tier. Joining him will be a promotee from Formula E, and this will be the first of many we'll see today, that being Rose Hansen, the American driver, hoping to have a good debut season for Trident. Next up is Unai Virtuosi, the team's champions, of course. Both their drivers have been promoted to the top class, which means they've got a whole new lineup. Gabriel Quintino joins the team after a decent season in Campos, and Dennis Benz Wallinger after 3 seasons at Prema. He has decided to jump ship. Unai Virtuosi have given him a lifeline and he has moved up to the British team. Next up we'll be going to Carlin. ANDERSSON has remained at the team, at which he got his first win, of course, at Brno. And joining alongside him will be Blake Moore, the rookie making his step up from BTCC now that BTCC has come to an end. Next up, we're going to talk about our Grand Prix. They do not have a single change in their lineup. It is Henry Watson and Luca Farina once again. They got 2 victories with Farina and the first 2 podiums with Henry Watson. Up next is MP Motorsport. Ruslan Procuk, the man who finished 3rd in the championship, who has only won races at Hungary so far in his GP2 career. Now that it's rebranding to F2, he'll be staying at MP Motorsport, and alongside him will be a Formula E driver returning to the feeder series, of course. Now that it's known as Formula 2, Tobias Kress will be making his return. Up next is CHAROUZ Racing Systems. Just Frederik Suto will remain with the Czech team, of course, the Slovakian driver, but Kyle Burns has not gotten a seat because he did not sign up. So that means they gotta bring in someone new, and that someone new is Alexander Arnold, the man who finished 3rd, I believe, in Formula E, level with Daniel Darbosch. Up next, we'll be going to High Tech. Like I said earlier, both their drivers moved teams or got dropped entirely, while the team that made its debut in 2020 will now have the services of 2 new debutants. First up being Samit Ozkan from Formula E, and Jonas Martins from BTCC, of course. Up next, we'll be going to Campos. Dennis Graf, after seasons at Dams, he has decided to make the move and he'll be driving at Campos next season. Alongside him will be a driver from DTM, the only driver from DTM to get promoted, that being Gabriel Rico. Next up will be Graf's former team, Dams. They have 2 new drivers as well. First up is the BTCC World Championship runner-up, I believe, who drove for Peugeot Talbot, Jafari Blackwood that is, and alongside him will be now former Formula E driver and more famously perhaps former Indy 500 champion Fengchano Chinat. Next up we'll be going to Prema. They have a whole new lineup, which caught me a little bit off guard when I saw this, but Agostino Bivona, the Italian driver, the new Formula E champion who absolutely dominated the season, taking 6 wins, will be joining that team, and alongside him it is the experienced GP2 now F2 driver Juan Nguyen. Finally, we got a new team, but AMERSFOORT Racing. I'll refer to them as VAR for future reference, but in any case, they're here. They've replaced HWA Race Lab. Just like last season, Adam Chobot joins a brand new team. He made his debut with High Tech in 2020, now he's moving to VAR in 2021. And alongside him, a man I have mentioned just before in this recording, might I add, Daniel Darbosch. He's got a seat at VAR, and well, that just about completes the lineup for this season.
Thank you yet again to Rob for going through the lineups for Formula 2. It is an exciting time for the series, and between you and me, I am definitely hyped for this new era for the series. Some drivers you may have noticed who competed in the 2020 season have not made it onto the 2021 grid for various reasons. So if anybody has missed out on a drive for either the top class or F2, they'll have to apply for either DTM, Formula E or the brand new World Champ Car Series if they want to still race in 2021. However, on the topic of those sign-ups, the way the sign-ups for those will close will be a lot different than in previous seasons, and the way the drivers will be presented for each of those 3 series will also change. Unlike in previous seasons where one sign-up would close after another series revealed its teams and driver lineup, this will no longer be the case as a result of the tiering system being scrapped. So the closing times for these sign-ups will work like this. Tomorrow, a few minutes after the top class finale in Brazil, the DTM sign-ups will close, so if you haven't signed up for that series, you need to be quick. Same applies for Formula E and World Champ Car, as 2 days after DTM closes, so specifically on Friday at 10 PM BST, the Formula E sign-ups will close, and then 2 days after that, specifically on Sunday, also at 10 PM BST, the sign-up for the new World Champ Car Series will close. On Monday, the sign-up decisions group will go through each sign-up and decide which drivers will be driving for which teams in which series, and then the lineups for all 3 of those series, along with their 2021 calendars, will be revealed via a YouTube premiere on Wednesday at 7 PM BST. The second to last news today concerns the Drivers' Championship, as on your screen right now is the criteria that both the championship contenders need in order to win the title. Armar Carr will need a bit of an ass to win the title, as he is 17 points back behind his teammate and rival Franco Lopez. However, as we saw in Abu Dhabi last week, when Franco Lopez retired thanks to a water leak, anything is possible. And like the late Murray Walker said, anything can happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does. So who will walk away as the 2020 World Champion? Can Armar Carr finally break his duck after many seasons of trying and win his first ever world title, or will Franco Lopez bounce back from the disappointment of Abu Dhabi and become only the second driver in top class history to become a back-to-back world champion? Tomorrow's race should be very interesting, and hopefully we get an exciting title decider here in Brazil. And finally, in other news, this week's GP4OC race marks an end of an era, as after the Brazilian Grand Prix, we will be saying goodbye to the real-life car performances. Since the series' inception back in 2015 by AZ Schumi, the series for the last 15 seasons has been basing their seasons from the real-life Formula 1 World Championship. It started with the 2006 season, which saw Joseph Willows become the inaugural champion, and it has lasted up until this season in 2020. However, from the 2021 season, the series will be carving its own path and will be using fantasy car performances, which will add an exciting element in future sign-offs. Because of the series going fantasy from next season, it means the series doesn't have to follow real life anymore, meaning it can have its own performances, own calendar, and custom liveries. And speaking of liveries, on your screen right now is the official livery launch dates for all 11 teams competing in 2021. The 2021 season will mark the first ever time GP4OC will have car launches as a result of having a livery team, and we are going to go through all of the dates that you need to know right now. On the 12th of May, which is next Thursday, Lamborghini will be launching their first ever top class car at Monza, followed a day later by Williams, who will be launching their car at Alton Park. On the 14th, Red Bull will be launching their 2021 Challenger at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, followed by McLaren a day later at Donington Park. HAAS will launch their 2021 car at Road America on the 16th of May, followed the next day by Aston Martin, who will reveal their first car after the rebrand at the circuit where their headquarters is based, Silverstone. Then at Imola a day later, Alfa Romeo will launch their car, with the prancing horse Ferrari launching a day later at their famous test track Fiorano. Defending champions Mercedes will launch on the 20th of May at Hockenheim, with AlphaTauri launching a day later at Mazzano. Then the final car launch for 2021 will come courtesy of Renault, who will be launching their 2021 Challenger at Paul Ricard. The launches for each team will be premiered on YouTube at 7 PM BST for each day. It is an exciting time for the OC, and we hope that you guys are looking forward to it as well. And that is it, not just for this week, but also for Series 8 of the GP4OC News. Once again, I would like to thank Yuri for yet again allowing me to do this series, especially with the new music and layout, and once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for the support for this series. This series has yet again been growing from strength to strength, and I really enjoy making these segments for you guys every single season. The GP4OC News will return midway in 2021, where we will have another 10 episodes and a pilot episode to go through the teams and drivers for the 2022 season. But until then, I have been JW97, enjoy the championship decider here in Brazil, and on top of that as well, enjoy the final ever top class race with real life car performances. Let's give this era of GP4OC a bloody good send off.